Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm David Knight. It's Thursday, January the 30th, 2014, and here are our top stories.
Tonight, Police Chief Shane Harger talks to InfoWars after he's harassed by the feds and placed on leave. This after signing a pledge to uphold the Constitution. Yet another disturbing indication that the federal government, in addition to law enforcement authorities, view Americans who support the Bill of Rights as domestic terrorists. Then, Super Bowl fans prepare to surrender their civil rights and submit blindly to authority as TSA Viper squads invade New Jersey. Jakari Jackson reports live from MetLife Stadium. All that plus more up next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
Well, our top story tonight is from Paul Joseph Watson. It's a police chief who's been harassed by feds and placed on leave after signing a pledge to uphold the Constitution. Now, this is all being driven by the TSA. This is where it all originated from. We have an interview with this police chief Shane Harger, as well as with Sheriff Richard Mack. That is going to be at the end of the program. It is a vitally important issue. This is a case of those who openly disobey the Constitution, who are not even officers of the law. They're not sworn officers of the law, and they're coming after those who are and who have sworn to uphold the Constitution and take that oath seriously. So stay tuned. At the end of the program, we're going to have an interview with the Sheriff Mack, as well as with the police chief, who has just been dismissed and put on administrative leave. Tonight, there will be a meeting, although we don't know the results as of the time of the news as to whether or not he will be fired, but his entire police department has been disbanded at this moment. Now, if you want to know why this is really important, you'd have to look no further than Fullerton, California, because we see there some more aftermath of the death of Kelly Thomas. That's the homeless man who was beaten to death by a gang of cops over an extended period of time. It was captured by video camera. And in this article, we see that cops are laughing about having a license to kill. This is a Fullerton resident who was arrested after protesting the acquittal of officers who were involved in the death of Kelly Thomas. One of the cops leaned over the protesters and with, quote, malice in his voice said, "There's a pack of 12 cops waiting to smash your effing faces in." Now, this is consistent with what we were told and we saw in the video of what the cops did to Kelly Thomas when they killed him. They threatened him. He said, "Do you see my fists?" This is the cop speaking to the homeless man who was on the ground. "They're getting ready to F you up." Now, just remember, Kelly Thomas, as the article points out, was a mentally disabled homeless man. He was beaten, tasered, suffocated, and pistol whipped as he lay on the street corner being sat on by no less than 6 police officers. This went on for 25 minutes, and he can be heard as he's dying, pleading for his daddy, saying, "Daddy, Daddy, they're killing me." This is where it's headed if we don't stand with the constitutional sheriffs and peace officers. We need to roll this back. These lawless law enforcement officers, quote unquote, they're disobeying the Constitution, they're disobeying the law, and they're becoming a dangerous gang of thugs. And in many cases, like this case here in Fort Worth, we see that we have police officers who are not trained and, of course, are not held accountable for what they do, even though they're not trained. We have no charges filed against a cop who shot a 72-year-old on his own driveway. Now, yesterday, a grand jury in Fort Worth declined to charge a Texas police officer who killed a 72-year-old man on his own driveway after arriving at the wrong address to investigate a burglary alarm. Now, take a look at this picture we have. You can clearly see that there's 409 where he was called, or 404, the two addresses that are in question. They're on opposite sides of the street, of course, because even numbered ones are on one side of the street and odd numbered ones are on the other side of the street, as in all cities, as all police officers should know, but even more so. This was stenciled on the curb of both houses, as well as on the mailboxes. And the police have put this out as if the man came at the police officer with a pistol. But his family is saying that he was shot in his own garage. They say that there was a campaign of misinformation. And interestingly enough, one of the neighbors is a former Fort Worth council member. That's Becky Haskin. And she said that the police officer was a victim of his own inexperience. She said he just unloaded his gun in rapid fire. That's what I heard. It woke me up. I thought it was in my backyard, just rapid fire, one right after the other in quick succession. 7 rounds he emptied into this 72-year-old man, not giving any warning, not backing off, not assessing the situation, not even understanding what address he was at. Now, that may not be something that's worthy of murder but it is certainly manslaughter, and it is certainly something that he should not be on the police force. It remains to be seen whether he's going to be taken off. He will probably, given past experience, will be kept on the police force. And we see that in Connecticut, gun owners are actually revolting and refusing to register their guns and their ammunition clips. A new law that went in at the beginning of the year. Gun owners in Connecticut have revolted against this, with only 38,000 out of 2.5 million high-capacity magazines being registered with authorities. Now, this figure of 2.5 million, 2.4 million, comes from a 2011 Office of Legislative Research study that found, quote, there are over 2.4 million large-capacity magazines in Connecticut that originated at the retail level. Now, of course, that doesn't even include those that were not purchased at retail level. And the danger of this is that we all know that registration precludes confiscation. And just as we saw with the previous story, when the police come to your home to look into the fact that you have guns, they may very well be afraid of the fact that you might shoot them. And we've seen over and over again that the police are given carte blanche to kill anybody that they feel concerned about, if they're scared in any way whatsoever, or feel like they're threatened in any way whatsoever. And many of them feel threatened just knowing that you have a gun. This is a very serious issue. This is something that the feel-good liberals have thrust on people, but we understand what's behind this. We know that it is a prelude to confiscation, and it creates a very dangerous flashpoint situation between citizens and an out-of-control police departments.
Symbols are powerful, and the globalists have hijacked the symbols of America. They've turned them into their own symbols. Well, we are restoring the idea of the true republic, not the counterfeit globalist empire, by promoting the icon George Washington and others. That's why we're rolling out an 100% made in America line of incredible pro-liberty apparel. We are repopularizing liberty. We are helping fellow Americans rediscover what made this country great. We are the spirit of 1776. We are 1776 worldwide. We are all brothers and sisters in arms in the animating contest of liberty, in the long march towards humanity's ultimate destiny of freedom. Visit madein1776.com today and vote with your dollars to promote truly made in America, high-quality products, and promote the ideals of liberty.